Namaste and welcome to Naaree Talk, the show that gives you everything you need to overcome your limitations and live your best life. Today I'm talking to Bindiya Murgai. She's a mental fitness and digital wellness coach. And she's conducted over 100 workshops on mental fitness and self development topics, including self esteem, relationship building, happiness, emotional hygiene, meditation, and mindfulness. Her retreats have been rated among the top 10 retreats in Asia by numerous publications and websites, and her blog has been chosen among the top 75 healing blogs in the world. She's also been awarded the prestigious Rex Karmaveer Chakra and the Rex Karmaveer Jyoti Purskaar, founded in association with iCongo and the United Nations. So today we'll be discussing how to set New Year goals for health and happiness in 2020. So over to you, Bindia.
Hi, Priya. Thank you so much for having me here with you.
It's a pleasure.
And it's a pretty relevant topic. I think everyone's just realigning their New Year resolutions and figuring out what 2020 is going to look like for them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to focus more on, today let's talk a little more about the personal side of establishing some goals for individuals, really.
Right.
And I think the very first thing and the most under addressed thing that we need to set as a goal for ourselves is self love.
Hmm.
Now, there is so much being said about self love, and different people seem to also misconstrue the term, sometimes thinking self love is narcissism or maybe selfishness. But let's just understand that self love really means acceptance of who we are as we are. It doesn't have to be that we give up on trying to improve ourselves. That is something that we should keep striving to do. But acceptance of the fact that we are all right the way we are, and that we can love ourselves the way we love our best friend, or a parent, or a sibling, or even a pet. So we accept them with so many, shortcomings and flaws and still love them so wholeheartedly. So we have to first also start doing the same for ourselves. So I think that for me would be the primary goal that everyone should keep in mind for 2020. Start by being gentler, kinder, more compassionate with yourself.
I
So,
absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
and we're all little works in progress. So let's appreciate that we're works in progress and tell ourselves every day that it's all right. We're on the path and we're doing okay. Be our own cheerleaders, so to say.
Yes.
So after that, the other one I would really say, Priya, is that we need to audit what has happened in the previous year, because it's always good to take stock of what we've done, how we've done, and so on, but without being too harsh on ourselves and without blaming ourselves. So it's audit is not about saying I could have done this, made more money, been a better mother, lost more weight. It's not about that. It's about saying that, okay, I wanted to achieve this, let's say in 2019. How much of it did I end up doing? And if I didn't end up doing, what is it that I can do now to course correct so that the goal becomes a goal and doesn't just stay some sort of a dream in my head? So when we audit, one of the things we have to keep as baseline for that is that did we even focus on that? Did we just have that as a streaming thought that came that, oh, this year I'll become fit, and then it got left? And if that was the case, then just make a list of the top five or even the top three things without making a very long, extensive list, because that becomes difficult to keep up with. You can increase the list and change it as you go along, but narrow down on 3 to 5 things, give it some sort of a timeline, because when we don't give a timeline to things, then that's not a goal. If your
Yeah.
goalpost is going to keep shifting, then that's not a goal. So let's say to begin with, we say that, okay, this year I'm going to be more healthy as a person. I'm going to work out at least 4 times a week. I'm going to take care of myself, go for one medical checkup every year. So if we are putting that as a goal, we have to start now, not that I'll start it in Feb or March. Let's say, how can I start infusing that little bit of health and fitness starting today? Even if it means 10 minutes, which I'll expand up to 30, but commit to a shorter timeline so that it doesn't just hang somewhere far away and you keep waiting and it passes, but something you can do now, as small as you want it to be. Thin slice it, no problem with that at all.
Right.
So that I would think is the next important thing to keep in mind for our own well-being for the coming year.
Yeah.
Then I think one thing that really helps, it really helps me, I see it help a lot of my clients as well, is that if we pick a word or a theme, that becomes the word or theme for the year. So it could be fearlessness, for example. A lot of us have a lot of fears, fear of trying something new, fear of pushing a little boundary here and there. So if we say that this is the prism through which we're going to look at our day-to-day life, then you can actually then filter, use that as a filter. Think of a photo filter. We're constantly using photo filters online. We have a favorite filter. This one makes us look soft, that one makes us look more edgy. So if you know that this is your filter, let's say fearlessness is your filter, or maybe change. Maybe you've just been so stuck in a routine. Maybe you've been not embracing any change but wanting it. So if you say change is my filter, then tomorrow if some opportunity comes and you know that is my buzzword for the year, you will take it up as a challenge and say, yes, I've committed to change this year. Let me try it. What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
And very honestly, very little is the worst. We're so scared half the time of trying things that we don't even give ourselves or things a fair chance. So that is important. Get that buzzword, use it literally like an invisible tattoo, or maybe even a real tattoo on your hand if you want, so that it reminds you. Or maybe get a bracelet which has something carved, which is that word carved, so that every day when you're doing stuff, you look at that, it reminds you that this is my theme for the year. I must work with it, I must do something accordingly. So that is another goal. Do you have a buzzword for the year?
No, but I'm going to think of one now. I'm definitely going to think of one. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. I never thought of that, but it's really good because I think it keeps you on point, right? When so whatever you're doing in the year, you're focused on that. You know that this is what I want to ultimately achieve. So whether you want to your year to be more peaceful, drama free, then you can say peace,
Yeah,
and then work towards that. So whatever you choose,
correct.
right? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to definitely implement that.
I'd love to know what it is,
Won't
though.
get a
Do share
tattoo.
it.
Won't get a tattoo because I can't tolerate pain. But that's fine. But
Yeah.
maybe a
It's, the
bracelet.
idea is it's a proverbial tattoo, so to say, which is why I was saying like a bracelet. It's just that otherwise we might lose track. It can be a screensaver
Right.
for all you know, which has a word written on it, so that you get reminded on a daily basis that this is my theme. I have to stick to my theme.
Right.
So
Right.
it helps you achieve that a little more effectively.
Yeah.
Then I think the next one, which is so obvious to all of us, but which we just ignore in masses, is exercise. Now, usually we say, okay, we'll exercise because maybe a few inches have expanded. So now we must go exercise. But what very few people very consciously remain aware of is that exercise also releases feel good neurotransmitters in our bloodstream.
Right.
So it's like a natural high that we get, because every time you do, and that exercise doesn't have to be one just gentle flapping of the arms. You need to get the dopamine in your blood. You need to break into a sweat.
Yeah.
Now you may not be a gym person, which is completely fine. Maybe you like brisk walking, or maybe you don't have a place where you have enough clean air to even go brisk walking. So maybe you have a room which you can shut, put some music on your headphones if you can't blast it on the system. Dance till you break into a sweat. Choose a martial arts thing if that's what interests you. Anything. But just get that natural high which your body already has within it. Let the body release those neurotransmitters to make you feel better. And of course, then the physical benefits is something apart from that we're all aware of. So I don't need to elaborate on that. But just from an emotional point of view, I'm saying it's a nice natural fix for ourselves,
Absolutely.
for our.
Absolutely. My favorite way of
So
working out is putting on Latin music and dancing. I love Latin
oh,
music.
that's wonderful. That's good fun. So dancing, in fact, is one of the best forms of exercise, because it's not only making you burn, but it's also very meditative.
It is, yeah.
Because if you think about it, when you're dancing and really, really dancing, not like, moving in a club or something like that, where 20 people are jam packed in, one little tiny corner, but when you're letting yourself go and dancing, think how many times in the middle of that really enjoyable dance can you actually think of something else. It's very hard then to think like, oh, I'm stressed about this, or what am I going to cook for dinner? What's going to happen now with something? Should I drop this person on time, pick them? At that moment, you cannot think. It's like when you're having a belly laugh. If you're really laughing, can you laugh and think and be stressed at the same time? You can't.
No.
So, yeah, dancing, yeah, if people can dance, that's amazing. They should dance away. Highly recommended. And talking about, dance being a kind of meditation, I'm going to come to something which is sort of related, which is meditation itself. Now, a lot of people feel that, oh, we tried meditation, it's so boring, or meditation is not for me, this is for other people. Now, meditation is for everybody.
It is,
The
yes.
problem is that sometimes we try only one method. We think there's no other way to meditate except to sit down and focus on our breath. That is the most common way. It's a good way to get in, but it's not the only way.
It's not, yeah.
Now, it's not. I mean, like I said, dancing is a form of meditation. If you're sitting quietly with some nice, clean, hot water and washing your dishes, that is a form of meditation too. So you pick whether you need an active form of meditation. If you're a very restless person, if you don't like being in a place, even running is a form of meditation. Because we must understand that meditation is not about levitating or looking like, some Zen hippie or something like that. It's about saying that our mind is like a highway. It's like a freeway, rather, traffic that's just coming and going. Now, in order for us to be able to refresh, to be able to get clarity on what's going on, sometimes we need to make that traffic stop, even if it's for 1 second.
Yeah,
And
right.
that's what meditation does. It stops the stream of thought traffic that's constantly rushing through our mind.
Yeah.
So even if you can have 1 second, 2 seconds, whatever, of break between thoughts when you're meditating, it helps you in several ways in the rest of your daily routine.
Yeah.
It gives you calmness, it gives you clarity. You can handle stress better. It's good from a physiological point of view for your body, and it just changes the tone of the day altogether. So I would say give it 21 days, because anything to become a habit, to get used to it, it takes 21 days. Don't give up, but just find the right form. And even if it means 10 minutes, and there's so many apps these days,
Yes.
if nothing else, download the app while you're traveling somewhere to work or to pick up your kids or doing something else. Put the app and just focus on that for 10 minutes. Is one of the best gifts you can give yourself.
Absolutely. I used to meditate a lot earlier, but today what I do is listen to guided meditations, especially before I sleep,
Right.
because I relax. It helps
Hmm.
me relax, and I used to have insomnia also. So it
Okay.
helps me, kind of relax and sleep. So I listen to
Yeah.
guided meditations. I find that
Again, I mean,
my
for
most
insomnia,
the best way. Hmm? Sorry,
yeah.
I
So
used to have it.
it's great for insomnia, like you just
Yeah,
mentioned. It's
yeah,
very good for people who can't fall off to sleep. And today we have so many tools available to us, literally at a touch of a
yeah,
finger, that there
absolutely.
is no excuse. Literally, we don't
No
have an
excuse,
excuse to
really.
say,
Yeah,
I can't go there, no one is there to teach me, nothing. You have everything available in front of you. Go seek something that appeals to you,
yeah,
try it out consistently for a while before giving up, and then see how it's benefiting and changing the tone of your day. So that's the other thing. Then I want to move to something that we rarely do, which is express gratitude on a regular and conscious basis.
yes,
Now, again, the problem is that all these terms seem to be used so loosely and sometimes in, a way of like very new agey things that people are doing. But there's nothing new age about gratitude. right from the time of Buddhism, gratitude is something which is layered into ancient religions because there is a very deep science to gratitude. Now, if every day you wake up and nobody's life is perfect, there's always something to be unhappy about, something to be dissatisfied about, something more that you want, or something less that is happening to you. So, what gratitude does is if you can get up every day and make it a practice to just write down 5 things that you're grateful for, but not the same 5 things every day and not big things. So it can't be that, oh, I'm so grateful for this house, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for, my job. That's understood. You can do that on day one. You can be grateful for those things. But then you have to start finding little things in your day to day life. Like maybe today the traffic to work wasn't that bad. I actually got there 15 minutes before time, or I managed to have the perfect cup of coffee that was made for me in the morning and given to me, or I caught up with a friend I really enjoyed chatting with after a really long time. So you have to find those little things which are present every single day. We just have to be more conscious, aware, and not think that just big things are worth offering gratitude to, but even appreciate the small things. An internet connection, we should be grateful for that, because without that we can't seem to function in so many ways today, right?
Yes.
So it's about expressing gratitude, and the science of that is that when we consciously train our mind to look for the things which are positive, it overall makes us feel better. It takes our conscious thought away from everything that's pulling us down, and it gives us an upper. Gratitude works as an upper because it's like having a torchlight. You can either focus the torchlight on the ceiling where there's nothing much to see, or you can focus it on a beautiful plant which is growing outside of your window. So use your torchlight intelligently, shed it on things that you can appreciate, value, and that you can see are adding richness to your life.
Yes. Yes. Of
So
course. Of course.
that I think is a practice, as a daily practice, that we really must all start incorporating.
Yeah.
I actually like to do it twice a day, morning and evening, but I say, okay, at least once a day, if not twice a day, morning or evening, keep a journal, have it in one place. Don't just say, I thought it in my head. Writing reaffirms something to our mind, it sends a stronger signal
Yeah.
than just thinking.
Right.
So that is the next thing. Then another thing I think, Priya, is I find a lot of people struggle to define good boundaries for themselves.
Mm.
And that
Absolutely.
creates a lot of angst, discontentment in life in general. So, boundaries can be at your workplace, they can be in your personal life, it can be something as simple as the ability to say no.
Yes.
And you will be
Yes.
amazed how many people, even the ones who come across as really strong, confident personalities, find it hard to say no. It could be that you've had a long day and you've come home and your family is being demanding and saying, now can you go make this for me, bring me this? And you do it because you can't say no. But then you get really upset and you get resentful because you think nobody can appreciate me. I'm working so hard. I'm already so tired. Now they're bullying me, telling me to do this. You have to say no. This is where I draw the boundary. And I say, no, I've had a long day. I'm really sorry. I do not think I have the energy to do this right now. You please do it for yourself. The first time, they may not like it because they become used to you doing it. And any boundary that you define newly, it's like dividing two states into two pieces. In the beginning, there will always be some pushback from both sides, there'll be
Yeah.
some readjustment.
Right.
But eventually, that saying no brings you so much clarity, it gives you space, it gives you peace, because you don't feel that you're pushed around.
Yes.
Now, those boundaries can also be boundaries between your relationships. So it could be a friend who's all the time coming and using you like an emotional dustbin.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
every time you meet,
I've
it
had
seems
that.
like, this happens so often. We all have at least one of those, if not
Yes.
more. It
Yes.
can be a friend, it can be a relative, somebody who just looks at you and they think, oh, great, here, take all my garbage and you swallow it because I can't keep it.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we are there for our close people. We want to hear what their problems are and so on, but not every time. And the sign to look out for is that if you feel drained with an interaction,
Absolutely.
that means you need to redefine your boundary with that person and with that interaction.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you need to do that very clearly. So this is, we have to just evaluate what are the boundaries which are too fluid. It could also, like one last example can be that your children always think that they can treat you the way they want to treat you. They
Hmm.
talk to you the way you want to talk. They bully you. You don't seem to know what to do. That means you've not established boundaries.
Yes.
Children are born and created and they grow to push boundaries because that's part of growing up.
Yes.
You're trying to negotiate your space in the world by pushing and saying, how far can I push and where can I go? So I find parents, even more mothers, but actually these days a lot of fathers also really struggle with boundaries between their children
Right.
because this whole idea of that we are parents but we are friends but we are all in one kind of a thing. No, draw the boundary,
Yeah.
say that we are parents and we are friendly parents but we are not friends.
Not friends.
Keep
No,
that
no. Don't
boundary.
believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the other thing.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
a related and kind of an extension to this is that I think we need to spring clean our social circle at least, maybe if not every 6 months, every 1 year. We
Yes.
need to do a thorough spring clean.
True.
Just like we look at a closet or we look at a room and we say, there's all this stuff over here, and some of it must leave. It can't just, we are not hoarders. We shouldn't also be emotional hoarders. And by that, what I mean is that it's not about saying that I'm this person who's going to just chuck people out because I'm spring cleaning. It's not about that. But as we grow, there are certain relationships that we do not need to take with us.
Yes. True.
Some relationships have a shelf life. We have to appreciate that, as hard as that sounds, if that shelf life has gone, if it's expired, take those out. Also, there are some people, for instance, who are so negative as people.
Hmm.
They might be very positive about themselves, but they are negative when it comes to you, who will always pull you down. If you say, I have this achievement, they'll say, yeah, but it's not all that great.
Hmm.
If you say, am I looking nice today? Yeah, you're looking nice, but I think you put on some weight. Or your makeup's not that nice. Where did you get this dress from? It's not suiting you so much.
Hmm.
Now, these are people who are creating toxicity for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
So identify in your social circle who is toxic and go with your gut on that. That when you're meeting some people, are they uplifting you? Are they nurturing you? Are they supporting you? Or are they always just at the other extreme and always wanting to pull you down
Hmm.
and pull you down and pull you down for whether sometimes some people are very clever, they do it in jest, but it pokes you and you come back and you feel hurt. And then again you meet them and again it happens. You come back and you feel hurt. You don't need those people. If for some reason you can't, wean them off literally to the fringes of your life because maybe they're your relatives and you can't do anything, you're stuck with them,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you have to reduce your interactions with those people or make sure the interaction is happening at the time where there's several other people so that you don't have to spend a lot of time. You keep going from here to there, engaging with the others, and slowly just put this person completely in the corner of your heart, your mind, and your emotional ecosystem.
Yeah. Right.
So, do the spring cleaning. It's a good time to start, is what I can tell everyone. Beginning of the year, don't wait for spring, just get on with it right away.
Yeah.
So, that's the next. Then I think one thing which always strikes me as a little underrepresented, especially where women are concerned, also where a lot of young people, young adults, uh, all the way, I'm saying young adults actually all the way till their 30s, early 30s now, is that the need for financial independence.
Very much,
and for
yes.
financial security is we just don't talk about it enough anymore.
No, we don't.
You
Yeah.
know, it's if you look at people who've grown up earlier in the so-called black and white world all the way till the 80s or been born around them, it was always ingrained at that time that you have to study and then you have to earn. Now that whole concept doesn't exist, and a lot of women feel that I don't need to earn because my husband is earning.
Mm.
That is perfectly fine. You don't have to earn because you don't have money or that your husband or family can't provide for you. You need to earn because it's good for your self esteem. You need to earn because it gives you value as a contributing member of society.
Mm.
And this is not
Yes.
about saying how much are you earning. It's not that are you earning 500 bucks or you're earning 50,000 bucks or 50 lakhs. It's not about that. It's about saying that are you utilizing your skills and being independent where if for any reason today everybody around you was to fall out,
Mm.
can you do something, however small, to sustain yourself?
Of course.
That is power. That is power of an amazing kind and a very, very unspoken kind. And I suppose, in a lot of societies, even like ours, we never spoke so much about women being financially independent because that gave them power. And people in
Yes.
patriarchal societies realized that gave them power.
Yes. Yes.
But now, even if you can't leave your house, even if you're a stay at home mom, there are so many opportunities that have opened up to you.
Of
You
course.
can do research online, you can help people with doing surveys, data. There's simple things you can do for which you don't need a lot of skill set.
No. No.
So some time so that you can appreciate the value of money, so that even if you're baking cakes and that's your business and you might be earning very little out of it, at least you know that you're earning something out of it. And one is the earning capacity, where we're talking about financial security, and the other part of it is that everyone these days tends to overspend. And I see this happening a lot because the job market is becoming very, very, tenuous. We're in the midst of a global recession.
Mm.
That people have expanded their lifestyles over and beyond their means.
True.
So if I'm earning
Yeah.
100 bucks, I've already taken a loan for a fancier apartment than I can actually afford. I'm
Yeah.
already spending a lot on my credit card because, I'm tempted by all these dazzling things online. I've put my kids, of course, everyone wants to give their children the best education, but give it within your means where you're not kind of breaking the bank and bending over with only debt and no savings left.
Yeah. True.
So going forward, I would think the times are only going to become harder financially. The next 10 years, everyone's talking about it. It's going to be a tough 10 years financially.
Mm.
So start saving for that rainy day now. When you may lose your job, your husband may lose his job, where any kind of an emergency can happen. So if you're earning 100 bucks, first keep 30 aside or at least 25 aside. Do not touch it for anything. No vacations, no sprucing up the house, no treats, nothing. That 25 is untouchable. And then go and use the rest of it the way you want and keep yourself debt free as much as
Mm.
possible.
Yes. True.
So, just that's about being financially astute and just ensuring your future, that
Yeah.
everything is not that I'm going to have a great time now and then tomorrow there'll be nothing and then everything will come crashing down. And it's very hard to downgrade, it's very easy to upgrade.
Yes.
We all know that. From economy, someone says you've been upgraded to first, great. But all your life, if you're traveling first class and someone says go sit in economy, oh my God, you're in a bad state. So that is the other thing. And then I think one other small thing, which is very important, is that define something that you do only for yourself. And that is tied to also the idea of having me time every day,
Mm.
whatever, 30 minutes of me time. You might sit and read a book in that me time. You might decide you just want to doze because that's more important to you. You need that, whatever it may be. But that time has to be sacrosanct. It has to be for you. It has to be like a time of literally like a time of worship. And then an extension of that is when you're doing something for yourself, it's
Mm.
like saying
Yeah.
that how do I treat myself, like give myself a treat for everything that I do as a person, as a human being. And what that treat is up to you.
Right.
It may just be treating yourself to a massage, it may be doing something, more, a little holiday, or going solo for some pilgrimage you might want to go for. I want to go to this temple or a monastery, I've not been there for a while, anything, whatever it may be. So do that. Then one of the things which is today very relevant and very important is our digital health. So we've spoken about our physical health, we've spoken about emotional health, but we've not spoken about our digital health and well-being.
Mm. Very
And
important.
that means that we define very clear-cut boundaries between our technology and us. And right at top of that technology list is between our smartphones and us,
Mm.
which now we treat as though they're a limb. We can't do without them. You
Extension of
know,
ourselves.
it is literally like, it's like our hand. If someone says, okay, lose your phone forever or lose your little finger, most people will probably say, okay, take the finger,
Take
but
the
I can't
finger. Yeah.
take away my phone. It's become like that. So what happens as an outcome of that is several things are happening. So I'm going to touch upon them briefly because obviously we don't have so much time to deep dive into it. But one of the things is that we're becoming too dependent on our technology in an unhealthy way. So you have to see what is it that you're doing with your technology, which is utility based, which could be that, okay, I'm going to get some information, I'm booking a ticket, I need to make a call. Those are all utility based things. But what is not utility based, which goes into the genre of addiction or over dependence, is that I'm constantly on social media. Even
Mm.
if I'm sitting with people and they're talking, I'm still scrolling. Before I eat my food, I should take a photo of my food. Whether I'm having a good time or not, first I need to take a selfie. I'm at this boring party, let me make it look fun and get everyone together so that others feel jealous and I'll take a picture. All those things are not utility based, they're addictive. The nature of social media is very addictive. We need to be mindful of that. And we need to see that we define hours in our day which are tech free. Ideally, the first hour of the day and the one just before you go to bed should be completely device free. You should not be looking at screens. First thing in the morning, you should keep your mind clean, not looking at news which makes you feel the world is becoming worse by the second, not checking mails, not doing anything, just letting the day soak in. And likewise, in the evening, winding down from the day
Yeah.
and reading a book, listening to music, or maybe even allowing yourself to get bored till you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because getting bored is a really good thing. It's when we get bored is when we are creative, when we find solutions. So it's, if
Yes.
you're bored, don't fear it, embrace it. It's a good thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
So those links are important. Your meal times should be sacrosanct. Try to not bring your devices to the table. When you're talking to people, unless it's very urgent and you need to be looking at your phone, keep your phone aside. Engage in real life relationships
Hmm.
and communication rather than everything being virtual and leaving you with a sense of emptiness.
Right. Right. And also social
So,
media, the reason we spend so much time is the validation, right? We're trying to get validation from people. So that's
yeah,
another thing you need to address if you're spending too much on time on social media, looking at your likes and your and how much people are liking and forwarding your posts and all that. That's all a reason to look inwards and figure out
it
why
is
you
like,
need.
yeah, and see,
Yeah.
but there's, Priya, I'd just like to add, there's also another side to this, which is that social media and everything that happens online, it is also crafted by some of the best minds who are the same minds which actually use all the techniques of addiction,
Yes.
from
True.
gambling, smoking, drinking, everything.
Yeah.
And they have woven that whole reward system into social media, where because instinctively, we have this tribal instinct of connection, of validation, of acceptance. It uses that primal instinct of ours and it cashes in on it by giving us these constant dopamine hits.
Yes, true.
Because every
Yes.
time you're getting that like or someone's sharing or commenting, your mind's peaking. The dopamine's going up and down, really thrilled. But what happens with that? Your mind is not made to have constant peaks of dopamine. So eventually, that whole cycle of dopamine leads to anxiety. It becomes like this silent hum of anxiety that goes on in your mind by the end of it.
True. Yeah.
And then people wonder, why is everyone anxious these days? They're
Hmm.
more comfortable, everything is fine. Why is it there's so much anxiety disorder happening?
Right.
It is directly related to all these factors as
Hmm.
FOMO and looking at other people's lives, feeling
Yes.
jealous
Yes, of
because they
course.
put their, showreel moments, and you think my life is so insipid, they look so good, they are taking international holidays, everyone seems to be staying at the Four Seasons, everyone seems to be eating some Michelin star food on their plate. So you start thinking that is reality. You start buying into that version as
Yes.
reality.
Yes.
And in comparison, you start getting more and more disillusioned with your own life.
True. Yeah. Very true.
So, limit your usage. If you can't do it on your own, plenty of apps that monitor your usage. And if you put 20 minutes, it'll not let you access it for the 21st minute unless you change the setting. So, if you can't help yourself, let technology help you in safeguarding you from technology.
True.
Use
That's,
it wisely,
yeah.
so you don't become the slave to technology. Let technology serve you instead.
Yes. True. Yeah.
So, that's it. And finally, I think the very last thing that I'd like to say is that we all need to focus on being the best version of ourselves, because life is more like a golf game where you're only competing with the course, which is your own course. It's like your own life course. So, if I can say that in any tiny way, I today have done something small to become a better version from what I was yesterday, and that something could be that maybe I learned a new word,
Hmm.
something as small as that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be earth shattering things all the time. It's not going to be realistic and sustainable.
Right.
But anything, maybe like, I never cook and today I cook myself a nice meal. Or maybe I walked 20 more steps today than I did yesterday, whatever. But how are you continuously working on becoming a better version? Because that's all you need to become. I don't need to become better than you. You don't need to become better than me. We don't need to become better than all those people on Facebook. We just need to become better than ourselves. That
Yes.
is your
That's
only
true.
only benchmark and your only competition. So
Yeah.
gently work on that. Love yourself and just embrace the year for what it is. Have fun with it and just don't take life too seriously. It's not worth it.
No.
There's nothing to be taken so seriously, not
Seriously.
yourself, not
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just loosen up, have a good time, and yeah, keep your word close by, the theme for the year. So I would think those are really the top goals as far as I'm thinking right now for 2020.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great roundup of tips, Bindia, and I'm going to absolutely start implementing all of them if I can. But
Yeah, do tell me how it's going.
I'll let you know how it goes. And
Yeah,
so if people want to get in touch with you for your workshops and stuff, what can they do? I mean, how do they get in touch with you, and what
so
what are your schedules like?
the easiest thing is, I've got a website. It's called healinghideaway.in. So pretty much a lot of the stuff that I do is there on the website. My contact numbers are there, my email is there. So they can just go on the website, they can reach out to me, send me a message or a mail and tell me what it is that they're looking at doing or what is the challenge they're facing. And to just kind of quickly run you through the kind of things I do sessions with individuals. Now I do counseling, I do life coaching, mindfulness training, and I work with people on educating them about digital wellness and digital. All these things, fall within the purview of improving your mental fitness and health.
Yeah,
So there are a lot of things that I do in different combinations, but the focus of everything is finally improving your mental fitness. So if you're a single person, you don't have to think, oh, I have to go join a group, because you can't do counseling in a group, for instance. If you're a bunch of friends, you decide you want to take a weekend off, So there's something called JOMO breaks that I do, which is called the joy of missing out breaks, where you leave your technology behind and, instead of having the fear of missing out, replace it with the joy of
Joy
missing
of
out.
missing out.
Rediscover yourself, connect with nature, connect with each other, nurture human connections, real life connections, and beauty more than things on in the virtual world. So you could come on a Jomo break with your friends and step back from that. You could come for a mindfulness retreat, or you could have workshops that you conduct if you're a corporate or an educational institution or a group of ladies who want anything to do with self-development related issues. I travel to do workshops, or people come to the Nilgiris for them. Some of the stuff happens online. So there are lots and lots of options. And if you get in touch with me, I'm happy to discuss, a program that really fits you and your requirements the best.
Great, great, great.
So
So I'm going to
yeah,
put that, I'm going to put your website in the description below, below the
yeah,
video. So they can connect with you and they can, opt for your workshops. And I'm seriously thinking of the Jomo workshop for myself also.
yeah.
I can
Actually,
use
it's
that.
a lot of it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's unimaginable fun. People really feel scared, but once you start it, and the number of small, beautiful wow moments that you have in that, you really, you actually realize that I've got myself into this slipstream, and how good and liberating it feels to pull myself back even
Yes.
for a little while
Yes.
from it, and
Absolutely.
then redefine healthy boundaries again. So that's part of that, is not just pulling back but learning how to have better, more effective boundaries.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, hope to see you in the Nilgiris sometimes,
I hope
Priya.
so. Yeah. I'll let you know when I can make it. Okay. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you for listening to Naaree Talk. Visit Naaree.com and download my empowering guided meditation and work from home checklist so you can get started on your journey to emotional and financial independence. That's NAAREE.com.